Twins game was fucking pissed me off last night.
I mean, you guys really should have won in the 10th inning.
But I mean, it was a fun game. But
I couldn't believe, that dude, Billback or whatever, pitched like 3 or 4 full innings there to close it out, and he got in trouble in the 10th too. And they brought him out in the 11th. I was like, yo, they're trying to lose.
Yeah,
we're live, by the way. What's up? Happy Tuesday to everyone. Good night last night. Top bets went 3-0. I lost on a couple totals, so I actually only picked up it was like plus 0.8 units or something. It wasn't even.
We're not talking about that under in Boston today. We're not talking about it.
Oh my god.
Move on.
What was that? Like the left fielder they brought in to pitch? What the
that doesn't matter. Oh my god. I'm still pissed off about that.
They scored to go up 9-1, and I was like, all right, so we'll get the push. And then they bring in an outfielder to finish the game on the mound. That was all right. Like you said, let's not talk about it. So first game, we got 15. It's Tuesday, always a loaded baseball day. Angels at Orioles. I usually don't start off with a pass, but this one's over 9.5 or pass for me. I'll say over a pass. Don't love this game, but I do have some notes to share. One sec. Man, I always forget to put my notes up. I just got a message in. The NBA ticket will be posted right after the show. It's done. I just forgot to build the same game parlay, and I realized it like 5 minutes ago, and I didn't want to rush it. So it'll be posted right after this. So
people only want that same game parlay anyway.
What's up?
I said people don't want your picks. They just want your SGP anyway.
I know. It's crazy. So, all right. So I'm not going to lie. I don't know who Chase Silseth is. He's pitching for the Angels. Apparently, he started 7 games last year. I don't know how that's possible because we did a live show. We did like 90 live shows last year, and I don't remember this guy. He's come out of the bullpen 4 times this year. Really not enough of a sample size to get a feel for this guy. Dean Kramer's been excellent his last 2 starts, but we're talking about, and we're talking about against the Braves and the Rays. 12 innings pitched, just 1 earned run total. He's been dealing. I personally think he's due to get rocked. Angels lineup seems to be back. Here are their run totals in the last 8 games. 8, 6, 1, 4, 5, 6, 3, 9. The Angels are hitting again. In the last 14 days, they're up to 4th in OPS versus right-handed pitching, back to where they were about a month ago. So I wanted to do the first 5 over because I kind of like both of these bullpens, but it's all the way up at 5.5. So it seems like the odds makers are thinking similarly to how I'm thinking. So it's over, but I'm going to pass.
I'm in the exact same boat as you. I actually did play. I did the first 5 over at 5.5 at plus 100. We got some wind blowing out there, which always helps in Baltimore. And Kramer's been really good, but if you look at his expected ERA, it's at 6.96, which is one of the absolute worst in baseballs. And the Angels are a top 10 team hitting righties. Sleesleth hasn't actually been horrible. I mean, I guess he's not like Patrick Corbin. He gives up 3 or 4 runs. Definitely not somebody that I'm trying to back. So I like that first 5 over 5.5 at plus money for a sprinkle. And then I definitely like to play the O's in some form or fashion. So that's how I did it myself. Orioles money line, first 5 over 5.5.
Yeah, we're on the exact same page because I wanted the first 5. It was the 5.5 that scared me off. And I actually have Orioles money line in my light parlay, my first parlay. So I'm on the same page. Next up, Pirates at Tigers. Tigers all the way. If I posted this last night.
Oh yeah.
So it's at like minus 122, minus 125 on most books now. In the community page, and if you're a Sauce member VIP, I posted a ticket last night. I bet them. I got them at, I think it was minus 115. I expected it to move more than this. It only moved about 10 cents. I thought we were going to be looking at like Detroit minus 130 this morning. So it didn't quite move as much as I thought. But it's the same angle I've been playing for over a week now. The Pirates don't score runs. I'm not going to let one game where they scored 4 runs take away what they showed us for 3 weeks now. I mean, this team isn't scoring. They scored 4 runs once, and we're just going to forget what they've been doing. Not to mention, Michael Lorenzen has been lights out in his last 2 starts. 7 innings pitched in both. Just 1 earned run in each game. He's been dominant. He should blank this bum-ass Pirates lineup. Louis Ortiz is pitching for Pittsburgh. He got absolutely crushed in his first start of the season by the Rockies. The Tigers lineup has definitely cooled off a bit. I will give you that. But against Pittsburgh, I really think they're only going to need 2 or 3 runs to win this game. Add on the fact that Detroit's bullpen has been excellent. In the last 14 days, Tigers' bullpen is 5th compared to the Pirates at 27. So even if the Tigers don't manage to score off of Luis Ortiz, we're still very much alive in the second half of this game. Really like the Tigers on the money line here.
Yeah, can't really add much to that. All over the Tigers on the money line myself. The only thing I can just to touch a little bit more on Lorenzen. His last, I mean, honestly, he's had 2 bad starts this year. His first start this year was against the Giants. He got lit up. Came up after that, blanked Baltimore in 5 innings. Milwaukee got to him, but we know Milwaukee's pretty good at hitting right-handed pitching. And then, like Saw said, his next 2 starts, 14 total innings at the Mets versus the Mets, and then at Cleveland, only 9 hits, 2 runs. He's only walked 2 guys. I just think that Lorenzen's like one of those guys that no one's really talking about right now that's having a fantastic season and is a really bet-on guy to me. And then on top of that, I mean, a lot of people like to know what his history against Pittsburgh is. It's really good. It's a long time ago. His most recent start against them was 2020, but he did go 5 innings and only gave up 1 run with 6 strikeouts. So everything positive there for the Tigers. Not so much with the Pirates myself. I like Saw said, I don't see how you can back a team after they won a game in Baltimore, which kind of lucky myself. I mean, Kyle Gibson had been really good. They had a couple of hits. It is what it is, but definitely not a team I'm trying to back in the Pirates. And I think they're a public dog, if I'm not mistaken.
That's exactly where I was going to say before we go on to the next one. Check this out. Everyone's taking the Pirates here. Look what the line does. At 4 a.m., it's Detroit minus 120. Action comes in on the Pirates, and now it's minus 125. So doesn't look like odds makers are really scared of that Pirates money at all. Next game. Washington at Miami. Give me the motherfucking Nats. Give me the Nats at plus 140. I got it at 148, but I'll put plus 145 because that's where most people can probably get it at. Nats have been very good to me in the last few weeks. I know Jesus Luzardo is an absolute beast. I like Luzardo. But so is Josiah Gray. And ask yourself this, and I want Toast to answer this before I keep going. When's the last time we saw a dominant start from Luzardo?
His last time out?
No, what? He hasn't had a dominant start in a month, man. I'd say Minnesota.
I mean, you sing the praises. You sing the praises of the Diamondbacks. He went on the road to Arizona, went 6 innings, only gave up a run. Is that pretty good?
First of all, I have recently cursed the Diamondbacks out. And second of all, my praises are about the Diamondbacks against righties. I don't really like the Diamondbacks. All right, touche. And also, he gave up 7 hits and 2 walks in that game. It's a 1.5 whip. It's not great.
Okay, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
When's the last time Josiah Gray's pitched well against the Marlins?
Oh, my God. Well, has he even pitched against the Marlins this year?
Well, no, but, I mean, I can look at his past 3 starts, and it's 4 runs, 6 runs.
I think you have something against Josiah Gray. Maybe it's because Prop Beaver likes him.
No, not at all.
Okay, anyway.
I'm on the under here, so.
All right, so anyway. So we haven't seen Jesus Luzardo have a dominant start in over a month. Don't listen to Toast. It's been since April 5th. That was the last time he had a dominant start. Add on the fact that Josiah Gray is a savage on the road. And I actually think Washington might have the slight starting pitching advantage here. Seriously, it's at the very least a toss-up.
I agree with that.
And if that's the case, how are we not betting Washington? Because the Nats bats are A, crushing lefties. They're 3rd in OPS versus left-handed pitching in the last 4 days. And B, in the last 14 days, I'm sorry. And B, they're scoring runs on the road. In the last 14 days, they're 8th in OPS on the road. The Nats on the road have been elite recently. And if we're saying, okay, the starting pitching matchup is a coin flip, how are we not all over Washington? And I mean, and by the way, the Nats are playing good baseball right now. They're 8-5 in their last 13. They're not the Nats you're thinking of. They're winning games. The Marlins bats haven't hit right-handed pitching all season. I think Josiah Gray shuts them down. And I am a little worried about the Nationals bullpen, not going to lie, but the Marlins bullpen has also been pretty ass. So I'm on the Nats here at this huge plus money price. Hell yeah.
I'm not on the Marlins. I don't disagree with the Nats. I don't think I could lay 160 with the Marlins the way that the Nats have like you have said, hit against left-handed pitching. And Josiah Gray, I made a point about Josiah Gray not pitching well against the Fish. That was also last year. He's also shown this year he's a lot better this year. If you look at his numbers, I mean, a 2.96 ERA. I know he's only 3-5, but I mean, you take a loss. I mean, you take losses against Baltimore when you only give up 1 run, and against Colorado when you only give up 1 run. You don't really. It doesn't. That's why I don't really pay attention to pitchers' win-loss records. I think we see a pitcher's duel here today. I think they both go at it. I don't love the spot for Washington. That's what kind of held me off. I know it's a road trip, but after a big, long road trip, then they played 4 games against the Mets, where they actually played well. But now they got to travel and come down here. I think Luzardo has been pitching well. I think him and Gray go back and forth. I think this is like a 2 to 3 game or something like that heading into the 7th and the 8th. Under 7.5 for me. I think that we see a pitching duel here. When I saw that total at 7.5, I think that the bookmakers think that we're going to see a pitching duel here too. And then on top of, like I had said about Josiah Gray, he hasn't pitched well in Miami ever. So I think he shows up tonight. I think Lizard shows up tonight, and we get an under here. Which would go with your Nats.
Yeah, your under cashes. The Nationals win 4-3. They're up 4-1, and they give up 2 runs in the 8th. That guy Hunter, not Hunter Henry. Hunter, that 8th inning guy the Nats got's going to give up 2 runs. Hunter something. Yankees at Blue Jays. All right, so first I want to apologize for that tweet. I tweeted out like I had a smoker. This didn't even make my top bets. So, like, I don't know why I really said that. And
it's not just a tweet. I woke up to, I got a bet that's going to change the world today or something like that.
I texted him saying I had the sharpest play of all time. It is sharp. It is sharp. But I want to apologize for the tweet because I would never do that. Like, tweet some shit to try to trick you into watching the show. The worst part about the sports betting industry, how people talk to their followers like that. I found the play of the day. Who wants it? Click that like button, my little puppies. It's so disrespectful. It's so. I would never talk to you guys like that.
25 likes. We're almost there.
It's man. People get a few Twitter followers and think like they develop the biggest god complex ever. Like, dude, your top play's hitting at about 54%. Relax. People want it. That's why they follow you. Just send it. Anyway,
at 54% with an average line value of like 155.
All right. So anyway, the play that you're all going to hate. You're all going to hate it. Ready for this? New York Yankees, team total under 3.5. Under 3.5. Yes, this lineup has been hot as hell. I'm taking the under at 3.5. So the odds makers are painting a pretty clear picture here. They don't think the Yankees are going to score runs off Gausman, and I get it. He's been dominant recently. If you take out that one start at Fenway during that Red Sox, that Boston Massacre week where they were just crushing every single right-handed pitcher in Fenway, if you take out that start, his last 3 starts combined, 20 innings pitched, 0 earned runs. He is dealing right now. He's also got solid career numbers against the Yankees. His last 4 starts against New York, he's got a 1.38 ERA and an 8.08 WHIP. He's been dominant against the Yankees. And this is so sharp. Okay. So public's all over the Yankees, but the line moves to Toronto. You know what? Let me bring the pie chart out. Make it big. See, look at this. It starts off. Early action came in on Toronto. All this action comes on the Yankees. Line barely moves. And the total drops. The public's all expecting the red-hot Yankee bats to score a bunch of runs. And the books are like, yeah, no, go ahead. Bet the Yankees. We're actually going to drop it down to 8. Or whatever the hell they did. They dropped it a half run. They dropped it from 8.5 to 8. So all this money coming in on the Yankees, expecting the Yankees bats to explode. The books move the line towards Toronto and drop the total to 8. Paints a clear picture of what they're expecting. Go ahead. Everyone bet the Yankees. Toast is betting the Yankees. They get blanked tonight.
I'm betting the Yankees on a pure number basis. I'm not going to sit here and try to tell you guys that it's a play of the day for me or anything like that. The fact that the public's all over them makes me hate it even more, but I'm not just going to change my decision now. It's more, you've heard me play. If you've listened to me before, you've heard me say it's just a play on the number for me. Gausman, when he pitches, it's almost like Toronto has a hard time scoring runs. A couple one-run games. It's just one of those things where I don't know. I just have this weird feeling. I hate that the public's on it. I'm not going to change my mind now. I took the Yankees at a big plus price.
What number did you get it at?
150.
That is nice. Not gonna lie. But
I mean,
I feel like that's exactly what they want us to do.
no, I as soon as I made this bet last night, seeing that first pie chart numbers, as soon as I looked an hour and a half ago, I was pissed off.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Blue Jays win 7-0. No, it's I like the bet. Obviously, it may lose. The books make statements, take like solid stands on sketchy lines all the time, and they lose all the time too. So it's not like it's just showing us the odds makers are expecting the Yankees to lose and not score runs. So I'm gonna roll with it. Rays at Mets. Guess what I'm doing? I'm placing my first bet on the Mets that I've placed in a long time. I'm a first 5 run line. And the reason is I don't feel like I'm even betting on the Mets. I'm betting on Verlander because, yeah, the Mets have been terrible, but, Verlander in his 2 starts back still looks like the Cy Young candidate from last year. I didn't even type – I typed 3 sentences for this one. I didn't even type his numbers out, but both his starts look great. In the first one, he gave up 2 runs. They were 2 solo home runs, and then he went 4 scoreless innings after that. So Verlander looks fine. The Rays bats, obviously, pretty scary, and the Rays at a plus money price, completely get it. And I also think the Rays could win this one in the second half. So that's why I'm only taking the first 5. I think the Rays bats against righties have cooled off, and I think Verlander is dealing. I'm expecting 2-1, 3-1 Mets after 5, and then maybe they blow it late.
Yeah, I didn't send this out. I did bet this personally, but I took the Mets on the run line for like a half a unit at plus 122. I understand how crazy and dumb that looks, but I do think, like you said, Verlander shoves. The Rays with Beeks is really good. Like, there's no question about that. He's just going to go a couple innings, and then there's going to be more Rays bullpen. I don't know. I just think that there's a time and a place to back the Mets. This might be one of them with Verlander on the mound. I think he's going to give us at least 6 or 7 solid innings. Everybody in the bullpens is going to be available for the Mets. They should be fine after that massacre in Washington yesterday. You might as well have called that a day off for them yesterday. So we'll see what happens. I might look like a real dummy like I did the other day, but Mets minus 1.5, just a small plus 122.
Oh, yeah, that graphic's wrong. On the left, it says Mets Nationals in the home plate. That part's wrong. The rest of it's right, though. It's Beeks versus Verlander. It's Rays at Mets. And the pie charts are right. It's just the numbers in that. Sorry about that. Prop Beavers in California. I'm a one-man team on the graphics right now, so I'm a little shorthanded. Next game, Seattle at Boston. And I kind of hate my pick, but I put it on the ticket. I'm betting it. I'm sticking to my guns, but I kind of hate it. I laid the 1.5 with Seattle.
Oh, cool. All right.
I don't like it. Public's heavy on Seattle. It's just, I feel like we got to go Seattle, right? I mean, the Boston hot streak is over. We faded them last night, got the win. Those bats have officially cooled. Now they got to try to hit off Castillo. Now, admittedly, I'm not the hugest Castillo guy, but if you look at his last starts at Toronto, at Houston, he was absolutely dominant in Toronto. And he pitched a great game at Houston also. We have no reason to think Boston gets to this guy right now. And I know some people may look at his last 2 starts and be like, oh, he's due for a bad start. But if you remember back to his Cincinnati days, that's not how Castillo pitches. When he's hot, he's hot. And he'll be hot for 6-7 weeks. But my gripe with Castillo is when he's cold, he's cold. Like, I remember back in Cincinnati, we were fading him every start religiously because he'll go cold for 2 months. He's not the type of pitcher that does those roller coaster starts like most of the league does. Nick Pivetta on the mound for Boston. This dude always struggles in Fenway. He's a much safer bet on the road. I actually don't like betting Pivetta in any situation, but certainly don't like betting him at home in Fenway. He's got dominant career numbers against Seattle, which definitely worries me, but overall, definitely am more comfortable on the side of Seattle. So Mariners bullpen is also first. This is what put me over the edge because I was already leaning Seattle. Then I looked at the bullpen numbers. Mariners bullpen first in the MLB in the last 14 days in WOBA allowed. Boston 29th. So if you're going by the last 14 days, we're looking at the best bullpen against arguably the worst.
Yeah, same with you right there. I didn't lay it the 1.5. I would, though. I'm actually probably might do that myself. I actually paired Seattle with St. Louis in a moneyline parlay at plus 150. But I just want to talk about Seattle really quickly and why I like your bet. Castillo has been pitching I guess not to what people think of him as, giving up runs and stuff a little bit at times. But look at also the teams that he's facing. Keep in mind, two of these teams, Texas and Houston, both good hitting teams, are both in the same division as well. Toronto, St. Louis, Colorado, the Cubs at the time were pretty damn hot. The Angels are a good hitting team this year. So every single team that he's faced is a good hitting team. So he's not going to walk into this Boston team and be overwhelmed at some point. And then on the same with the Seattle offense, there's a big change that happened in the Seattle offense. Julio Rodriguez is no longer their leadoff man. It's J.P. Crawford, and he's been getting on base at an obscene rate, and that's taking the time that Julio, and I know this sounds stupid, but they were saying that the time that Julio Rodriguez jogs and runs from center field to home to the dugout, he needs that rest. He's been going up there swinging at pitches he shouldn't be because he might be a little bit tired. I don't know if I believe all that, but regardless, he's hitting 3 now, and that lineup has absolutely flipped over. They're scoring runs. They had another 10 runs last night. By the way, it's Dinger Tuesday. My Dinger Tuesday pick, Ty France. On a fucking mission right now, hitting balls last night really hard. Hit 2 doubles last night. I think he goes yard tonight.
Yo, who was I talking about? He's right. JD Castillo has coming off 2 bad starts. Who pitched 7? I must have wrote the wrong pitcher's numbers down for that. It doesn't matter because the reason I like Seattle is the severe bullpen edge anyway. It's just, that's weird. I must have been looking at the wrong pitcher's numbers there. It's crazy. Anyway.
I mean, he still had good numbers. I mean, it's not like...
No,
horrible.
but there was one pitcher that had 7 innings scoreless against Toronto and 7 innings, 3 runs against...
Okay.
You know what? I am too curious. I'm going to look right now. 7 innings scoreless against Toronto. Damn, I don't know. All right, whatever. I don't know who I was looking at. That's crazy. Anyway, next game. Brewers at Cardinals. This is my first pass. I do see what I wrote for it.
I mean, how do you fade the Cardinals right now?
Exactly, but there's where's the hell is this game? I put under or pass actually. But I refuse to bet the Brewers against left-handed pitchers, so there's no chance in hell I'm taking Milwaukee. They've been one of the worst lineups against lefties this whole season. I want to bet the Cardinals, but they're so expensive in every area. Their money line's expensive. Their first 5's expensive. The run line's expensive. Even the team total under for Milwaukee, I wanted to look at that. It's at 3.5 juice to the under. Expensive as hell. Like, everything's pricey with the Cardinals here. I'm just going to pass.
Yeah, I like I said, I paired them with Seattle.
That's right.
I don't understand anybody that could fade the Cardinals right now. I think that all that the regression or positive regression that everybody likes to talk about is finally hitting them like a train of rocks. On top of that, you're getting Jordan Montgomery coming off his worst start of the year, our second worst start of the year. And the last time that happened, he went into Arizona, got lit up for 7 runs in 4 innings. Came back the next week or next 5 days later, pitched 6 innings, only 6 innings, no runs against the Giants in San Francisco. And then his next start at the Dodgers went 6 2/3, only went a run. So I think now that I'm talking myself into it, I like the Cardinals -1.5 even more. But yeah, it's one of those things that, it's Cardinals and Cardinals and Cardinals. That's why it's priced so high. Also, Montgomery's history against Milwaukee is kind of pretty damn good. He's had a couple of bad ones, but when he's on, he's been on as far as shutouts. So, yeah.
Check this out, too. This is where, there's no way I could take the Brewers. So all this action comes in on Milwaukee. Line moves from St. Louis -180 to St. Louis -184. They're not worried at all about the lot of sharp action on the Brewers. I don't know what they're seeing.
I'm about to bet St. Louis -1.5 in about 5 minutes.
I'm sold. Atlanta at Texas. Okay, so I hate giving these bets out because not everyone can get them. Texas first 5 team total over 2.5. So if you don't have a sportsbook that has that, I think DraftKings and Caesars, I think there's a third one that has it. But if you don't have one of those books, I would just rock with the Texas first 5 money line. I wish I bet Atlanta yesterday, and I passed on this game yesterday, but Toast went after me. He took the Braves, and after he was done talking, I was like, shit, yeah, that sounded good. I probably should take Atlanta, and I didn't. So the reason that I don't want to play the first 5 money line and just want to stick to the Texas team total over in the first 5 is I don't 100% trust Dane Dunning. I mean, he's been good recently. Since he left the bullpen and returned to the starting rotation, he's been pretty much excellent in both of his starts. The Braves lineup is stacked, but they're not really hitting right-handed pitching right now. Atlanta's just 23rd in the league in OPS versus right-handed pitching over the last 2 weeks. On paper, Dane Dunning should pitch a good game, and this Rangers first 5 money line should hit. But is anyone going to be completely shocked if the Braves rock Dunning? I don't think any of us will be. But the reason I'm backing Texas in the first 5 is the bats here. They're at home, coming off an embarrassing 12-0 loss on their home field against a bad lefty starter. His name's Jared Schuster. He's making his 3rd career start, and the first 2 were both hideous. The Rangers have been crushing left-handed pitching this whole season. They're 4th in OPS versus lefties on the year, 7th in the last 14 days. I mean, they've been pretty much consistently smacking lefties the whole year. Like, they have not cooled off at any point in the season. This is a tough lineup to pitch against if you're a lefty, certainly on the road in Texas. So, yeah, I think they get 3 runs across before the end of the 5th inning. And like I said, if you have a sportsbook that doesn't give you that, just take Texas first 5 on the money line.
Yeah, or you can roll with me, Texas first 5 minus 0.5 at plus 110.
You are a risky savage.
Bro, let me tell you a little something about my boy Dane Dunning. Not only is he really, really good, and after coming out of the bullpen, I think that might have upstarted his career. He's also faced this Braves team last year, went 7 2/3, gave up 4 hits, 1 run, 7 strikeouts, didn't walk any of these brave-ass bums. And then you got Jared Schuster, this big prospect coming out here just serving up things. And just to add to your Texas batting stats, WRC plus is the numbers that I like to use, the stat I like to use on the year. Texas number 3, the last 30 days, Texas number 3 versus left-handed pitching. I love Texas in the first 5 here today. I love the fact that I get a fade Atlanta.
Yeah, we're up on the same page then, because I was thinking the same thing. There's nothing like every single time, no matter when in the season, when you look, last 2 weeks, last 3 weeks, last month, Texas is always in the top 5 against lefties. Like, always. They always hit lefties. And I love the angle of them coming off. I know you don't like that much, but coming off the embarrassing loss in their home field, I like that. I know that in baseball, that in like basketball and football, I feel like that is more of a factor than in baseball.
Yeah, but it's also I still think 12-0.
It's humiliating. It's humiliating
with the team, and it's not. This isn't like the old Rangers team that expects to lose. This is the first place Texas Rangers team. They're trying to win games, right? I mean, obviously everybody's trying to win, but you get my point.
Yeah. Yep. 100%. Same page. Cubs at Astros. I'm curious to see which way Toast goes on this one. Oh man.
I'll just tell you right now, I'm on the Cubs first 5.
Yeah, I'm on the other side. Cubs first 5. What money line?
Yeah.
What price you get it at?
Plus 150.
You know what? Why don't you go first then?
Mine's just really simple. I think that Justin Steele is win day for the Cubs, and I continue to back him, and he continues to make money. I will say that there are some people out there that I read their stuff, and they talk about how that some of his numbers are kind of fugazi and whatnot, but there's at times that sometimes we just see pitchers that are like this. And Justin Steele could be one of them. The Cubs just seem to play better when he's on the hill. Christian Javier was my pick for Cy Young. So it's not me. I'm not here trying to sit here and try to say that Christian Javier is bad. He's going to get blown up or whatever. I truly think this could be a 2-1, 1-2 game, whatever way you flip it. And getting a big plus price on a Cubs team that was in this game yesterday. Morel had a big, nice home run. Their rookie that's came up here after making a pretty big error. I mean, keep in mind, Houston scored those 2 runs in the first inning because of that Morel error. That balls that should have been caught. And then the Bregman home run in the late. So that's 4 runs that the Astros scored yesterday that were meh. So for me, I'm willing to take the Cubs at a big plus price to see where we go.
Okay, so I was definitely on the Justin Steele train, and I still think he's nice. But the first thing you said that you read some things, that was kind of about that his numbers might be inflated. That was kind of how I was feeling. Obviously, yep. I'm sure I didn't do as deep of a dive as the people on The Athletic and the shit you're reading. But what I noticed is he's been a little bit fortunate as far as the schedule. I mean, he's got 8 starts, and his numbers are great. But he's got 8 starts, 5 of them at home, only 3 on the road. He's seen the Cardinals. Now, the Cardinals are hitting now. They weren't earlier. The Marlins twice. The Padres, who aren't hitting anybody. The A's. The Brewers, who don't hit lefties. Now, he did pitch against the Dodgers and Rangers. So that was early in the season. But as a whole, he's definitely had a cakewalk for the last 4 or 5 weeks. In my opinion, this is kind of like the first opportunity we see to see him get exposed. I don't really think the Astros crush him, but I think they do get a few across. And then meanwhile, Christian Javier is the complete opposite. Dude's pitching against the best lineups in baseball, and he's still putting up elite numbers. Ready for his last 5 starts? At Angels, who were first against right-handed pitching in the last 2 weeks. At Seattle, Phillies, at Braves, Blue Jays. Those are his last 5 starts. Still putting up elite numbers. I mean,
and before that, Pittsburgh, who was playing really
red hot. Exactly. It's just like you take these two guys, and one is pitching against the toughest lineups in the league, especially for a right-handed pitcher, and the other one's pitching against cake. I think Christian Javier is much better than Justin Steele, and it'll come to light today. Not to mention, I don't trust the Cubs lineup at all. They've been cold for a while, especially against righties. I know it's absolutely crazy to lay 1.5 with a home team against a good starter. I know that's nuts. I actually didn't put this on the final ticket, but this is definitely the way. I actually might bet this because as I'm speaking, I'm kind of like talking myself into it. But yeah, I think I might actually bet this. Houston minus 1.5. That's how I would go here. All right, next game. Cleveland at White Sox. It's time, guys. It's time. White Sox the fuck up.
Oh my god.
White Sox are winning this game. It's time. See, what Toast doesn't understand.
I'm not on Cleveland money line. I'm just going to throw that out there. I have a different bet.
What Toast doesn't understand is division rivalries. And this one comes down to... All right. Let me just read my notes. So, first of all, Lance Lynn pitches well against Cleveland. In his last 4 starts against them, he's allowed just 6 earned runs in 24 innings. He pitches well against this team, but who doesn't? They suck. You could say the same thing about Shane Bieber, though. This is a division rivalry. There's 2 starters on the mound that have been with their respective teams for several years. There's a lot of history here. Makes it tough to bet. But that's exactly why I'm on the White Sox. In any other circumstances, you'd be looking at this game and you'd think, okay, Cleveland's got the starting pitching advantage with Shane Bieber on the mound. But the division rivalries with 2 pitchers that have seen these lineups 10 times, it evens the playing field. Not only that, the White Sox. I think the starting pitching matchup, I think it's a toss-up. I think Shane Bieber is just as likely to get rocked by the White Sox as Lance Lynn is to get rocked by Cleveland. But not only that, let's look past the starting pitching for a second. Okay, so the White Sox bats have been terrible against right-handed pitching. Not as bad as Cleveland. They're still better than Cleveland. All right, the White Sox bullpen has been pretty bad. It's down to like 18th, 19th. Still higher than Cleveland. So the only spot that you can make a realistic argument that Cleveland has the edge is starting pitching, and I don't even think it's much of an edge. I mean, I think it's a little bit of a coin flip game because it's a division rivalry, but I'm getting the home team at plus money. I'm taking it. White Sox up. It's time. Look at this. Look at this, guys. Look at these pie charts. Everyone you've ever met, your mom, your dad, your brother, everyone you've ever met is betting Cleveland. It's time.
I think my son even has a bet on Cleveland. I'm not sure. I'd have to ask him. He's just waking up, but I don't know. Look, I'm not on the Cleveland money line because of those pie charts in that, but I am taking the Cleveland team total over 4.5. I don't care. I do not care if Sauce was batting cleanup for this team with Fat Lance on the mound. I do not care. I am playing the other side's team total. Let's just take a look at Lance's last few starts. 7 runs against the Royals, 4 runs against the Reds, 4 runs against the Rays, 4 runs against Toronto, 5 runs against Philly, 8 runs against the Giants. The dude is a walking... I can't. I'm not even going to keep on going into it because I'm going to say things. He's actually a really cool guy. I've actually got to talk to him a couple of times. He's a really cool guy. He sucks. All over Cleveland team total. That's it.
He sucks, except when he pitches against Cleveland. You know what it reminds me of? Okay.
Why is this team total at 4.5 then? Why is it at 4.5?
Because because what you just said, people think Lance Lynn sucks. That's exactly why.
Okay.
So this kind of reminds me of when it's like, I'll give you a good example. All right, so say it's like Mets Phillies, right? And let's rewind to last year or 2 years ago. It's DeGrom versus Nola. Now, obviously, DeGrom has the starting pitching edge, but it's Mets versus Phillies, and it's their aces on the mound. Like, you know that it's a toss-up. Like, anyone could win that game. That's how I feel about... Now, these aren't aces Aaron Nola and DeGrom. But I'm saying that's how I feel. It just kind of evens the playing field. These lineups have seen how many times has Cleveland seen Lance Lynn? Like 20. And that same goes for the White Sox lineup against Bieber. It evens the playing field. And I'm getting the home team at plus money that also has the better bullpen and the better lineup right now.
I just want to let everybody know I would not play Cleveland money line personally. Like, there's a reason that I picked the team total. Like, we can both still win. I could care less if me and Sauce both win. It's not about that. I'm just saying that there's no way in hell I'd be on Cleveland money line today.
All right.
Not with that money.
Next
no way.
Game. Reds at Rockies. This is my second pass. When I made the graphic last night, there was no pitcher announced for Cincinnati. That's why it says no pitcher. There is a pitcher now. I mean, Brandon Williamson versus Chase Anderson. Who versus who? In Coors Field, the most unpredictable place to try to bet? Yeah, no chance I'm betting this shit. No way.
I've actually got Rockies first five minus 0.5. I think it's at like plus 105, or it's at plus money, whatever you can get it at. But honestly, it's just we're getting a guy in Chase Anderson who hasn't been really horrible in his time in the major leagues. He's not a guy that pitches a ton or whatever. Kind of came out of the bullpen in times, but when he has started, he's started pretty damn well. And then we get a guy in Brandon Williamson who's making his major league debut in Coors Field. Rockies have been playing pretty damn decent at home, putting up a couple runs. They scored 9 runs last night, blanked the Phillies 4-0 the day before that. I think they can get a couple runs across. I expect Chase Anderson to pitch somewhat well. There's going to be, if you look at the total in the game, I think the first five totals at 6.5, 7.5 or something like that. So they expect runs to be scored. I just think Colorado scores a little bit more. I think they have a pretty decent starting pitching advantage. So I'm going to take Colorado in the first 5.
I mean, I don't hate it. I personally didn't know either pitcher, and Coors Field is so goddamn weird. It was just nah for me. Next game, KC at San Diego. So this is how I ended up going with this one. Kansas City team total under 3.5. That's where I went here. Padres, man. It's just this is another game that just feels so unpredictable. Obviously, I like the Padres to win, but they're still not hitting. Yeah, they got the win last night. The final score was 4-0. They had 5 hits. They had 5 hits in that game. Tatis had 2 of them. As bad as the Royals are, and as much as I think Brady Singer is trash, I just can't get there with a minus 200 price tag for a team that's analytically one of the worst lineups in baseball over the last 2-3 weeks. It's just crazy. I want to bet the Padres. I do. The good news for San Diego, I do have some good news. Bullpen looks like it's gotten their shit together. They've been good. Last 14 days, 3rd in WOBA, and this is a bullpen that I was cursing out as recent as 1 week ago. So it looks like they're getting their shit together a little bit. I actually think those numbers are a little misleading, though, but still, 3rd in WOBA in the last 14 days. Now, Kansas City's lineup is obviously bad, especially on the road. I mean, Royals are one of the worst road offenses in Major League Baseball. Combine that with the fact that Seth Lugo's pitching at home, and he's been pitching well, and a hot Padres bullpen. I think Kansas City team total under is the way to go. If you don't like that, I guess I would go San Diego minus 1.5. I'm scared of the bats.
So it's a pass for me. I didn't bet it, but I would lean Kansas City.
What?
Look, I'm a Padres fan. I would love to be able to tell you that I agree with everything that you said, but I don't trust this team right now to save my life. I was kind of scared last night, even though they won 4-0. It just didn't look like you said. They only had 5 hits. They're just not playing good baseball right now. Again, I'm not trying to say that the Royals are playing great baseball right now, but Brady Singer has shown flashes of what we thought, or at least I thought that he could be. At least he showed last year. He's coming off a performance where he went 6 innings, only gave up 1 run on 5 hits against the White Sox. His last 2 starts before that were bad, but then he went into Arizona, went 6 innings, only gave up a run too. So it's really feast or famine with Brady Singer. Again, it's just a huge plus price with a Royals team that can be somewhat sneaky at times. If you look at their as far as when they score runs, 6, 0, 3, 4, 1, 9, 2, 12, 5. So there's a lot of variety, I guess, when it comes to Royals in the games. You just really don't know what they get. So at the big plus price, I would get it. I think it was like plus 190-ish last night. It's down to like the one.
Let me look for you. I'll look. It's at plus.
It was- I
Ooh,
think
it's down to plus 170.
Yeah, so I just that just kind of really kind of has me leaning for that big plus price. I don't know if I'm there yet. I'll post it on Twitter if I do play it, but there's a small lean to the Royals for sure.
I took a shot on the Royals at plus 190 in the Milwaukee series, and I looked like an idiot. I think they got beat like 9-1 in that game.
It happens.
Next game, Arizona at Oakland. What did I write down for this guy? Oh, this was just an over or pass for me. I do have some notes to share for it. It's just I'm going to say over 9.5 or pass. I didn't put it on the final ticket, but I don't hate it. Like if you're betting over, I'll give you the thumbs up on it. The truth is we got priced out on this one. I liked the over last night at 8.5, so it moved up to 9.5. So I just have to pass. Arizona has quietly become one of the league's best road lineups. It was kind of the opposite of what they were doing 3 weeks ago. In the last 14 days, they're second to the Atlanta Braves in OPS on the road, which was shocking to me because, like I said, a week and a half ago, it was the opposite. It was like you could back Arizona bats at home, not on the road. Now they're second in OPS on the road in the last 2 weeks. Kyle Muller is pitching for Oakland. He's been absolutely awful. I don't care that he's a lefty and Arizona's better against righties. Don't care. Anyone can hit this guy. Oakland's bullpen also sucks. I think the D-backs score a lot of runs. The reason that I'm not just straight up betting Arizona is I think Oakland may smack Tommy Henry around right back. The A's are a sneaky, decent lineup against lefties. I say decent, not good. It's just surprising whenever you see an Oakland statistic that's not in the bottom 5. They're like 17th or something against lefties in the last 2 weeks, and we've seen them hit lefties a few times this year. So I'm scared of backing Tommy Henry. That's why I'd stay off betting aside. I'd go over a pass.
Yeah, I'm on the same page. I didn't play it myself, but it's went up from 8.5 to now 9.5 at plus 100 on some books. So I lean over, but I didn't play it either. I would take that plus money if you could, though.
All right, cool. Hairston's on the over too. It looks like we're kind of all on the same page on this one.
I mean, just really quickly, just to say it. I mean, the A's bullpen is, obviously one of the absolute worst. And then Mueller has an ERA that's over 7. Henry's FIP is 4.9.
What's FIP? What's FIP?
Fielding independent. It's no point to get into it right now.
Okay.
I like Woba. It's just all bad.
I like Woba. Woba's my shit. I like Woba.
Woba's a good one too.
All right, let's go. Phillies at Giants. G-men. I mean, is it still the G-men? Or is that only New York Giants? Are they the G-men?
I don't know.
Oh, Toast is fading it good. They got it both ways. Full game, first 5. San Francisco, both ways. Zach Wheeler is a great pitcher at home. He's significantly worse on the road. This is dating back multiple seasons now. We already know this. He's much more reliable at home than he is on the road. Now, the Giants' bats certainly are not hitting right-handed pitching like they were earlier. If you remember, first month of the season, they were top 5, top 8 lineup against right-handed pitching. They've faded. They're about middle of the pack now. They were 16th, I think, in the last 14 days. Still hitting righties, just not at an elite level. I still think at home, the Giants get a few runs across on Wheeler. Now, on the mound for San Francisco is Alex Cobb. And he's got the really similar looking home away splits as Wheeler. Cobb's got a 1.35 ERA in his 4 home starts. 4 home starts, he's got a 1.35 ERA. Last year, his ERA on the road, 5.20. At home, 2.68. This dude is dominant at home in San Francisco. And at first glance, you might think, oh, wow, Zach Wheeler versus Alex Cobb. Phillies definitely have the starting pitching advantage here. That's not the case in this spot. I think Cobb has the edge in San Francisco. Now, bullpen-wise, surprisingly, the Phillies have been producing better than the Giants out of the bullpen, which is shocking because the Phillies' bullpen is just absolute ass. But it's producing better than the Giants, and the Giants did use a couple of their arms last night. So maybe if Toast is going to try to tell you that the Phillies have the bullpen edge tonight, I'll probably listen to that. He probably has a point with that. But it's the Phillies' bats for me. That should be the difference maker. They haven't really been hitting like that. In the last 14 days, the Phillies' bats are 11th versus righties, 23rd on the road. Teams not hitting righties like they were earlier, and they're not hitting on the road, 23rd in OPS on the road. I'm not scared of this Phillies teams at all. Giants cruise again, back-to-back wins.
Yeah. So first, I'm on the Phillies. I'm on the Phillies money line and the over 7.5. Couple reasons why. First of all, I'm a big Alex Cobb guy. I've been singing his praises for a while now. I've said he's underrated. I'm really glad to see that he's pitching well this year and starting to getting the flowers that he deserves. That being said, his last 4 starts, you take out the one against San Diego, he only went 5 innings. He went 9 innings against St. Louis and then 7 innings back-to-back against Milwaukee and Arizona. That's a lot of innings for him. I think that he's due for a little bit of regression. Look, the Phillies have been last 30 days, you're right. The Phillies haven't been fantastic against right-handing pitching. But on the year, on the back of their baseball card, they're still a top 10 team, number 9 in WRC plus at 106. So they're just above league average. I think that they can actually get to Cobb a little bit. And then on the other side, Zach Wheeler. It just depends on what you believe. Do you believe that Zach Wheeler is a dominant guy, or do you believe that he's kind of worn out from last year and his arm might be a little bit dead and he's going to struggle the whole year? So I don't really believe that. I understand he hasn't looked great at times. At Boston, he didn't look good, but you take out Boston against Toronto and Houston, he pitched actually pretty well. 13 total innings, only giving up a run and 6 hits. And that's 2 pretty damn good lineups. So I think that the Phillies, now that they're away from Coors Field, that's why I like the Giants so much yesterday. Another night in San Francisco, the fact that Sauce is on the Giants makes it just a little bit sweeter. I like the over a little bit more than the Phillies, but I'm definitely on the Phillies. Let's go, baby.
Another episode of Toast takes a loss in the late slate of games. Speaking of Toast taking losses in the late slate of games, why don't we move on to Los Angeles to talk Dodgers versus Twins? Oh, it froze. Hold on. It'll come back. There we go. We're back. Sorry. So, in case what I was saying is Toast took the Twins last night, took a tough loss in the 12th inning. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Toast Tries to Fade the Dodgers and another episode of Sauce Doesn't Fade the Dodgers. Dodgers minus 1.5. Yes, at home. I got it at, let's put plus 105. It's about the average price on that right now. I didn't even write anything down. Just not fading the Dodgers. Toast, you take Minnesota?
I don't have a play on this game. Everybody's betting the Dodgers after Kershaw's mom died and all that stuff.
I didn't know that. That sucks.
Yeah, it does suck. It would be Twins or pass for me just because of on the number, and I don't really know if I love the spot for Kershaw. And I'm also, as much as I'm the king of Dodgers minus 1.5, not the biggest Kershaw guy in general. But yeah, it's a pass for me. I just can't do it personally.
Boosh. That's to your comment. Yeah, I think it was the 9th or the 10th inning where that reliever for the Dodgers got 2 generous calls in a row. He got a strike call on the inside that was off by 6 inches, and then he got a strike call on the outside that was off by 6 inches in the same at bat. It was horrible.
Let's not forget the foul ball that was called fair to get the Dodgers to tie the game in the 9th.
I did not see that. I think it was fair.
No, it was foul. Everybody in the freaking world saw it was foul.
Why do you keep saying? Why do you keep saying review my results from yesterday? My top bets went 3-0. It was a sweep.
But I gotta get going. My computer's gonna die.
All right. Talk to you later.
Well, it's gonna.
Community parlay. Let's move on. All right. So let's throw. Everyone throw your favorite. I guess Toast's computer probably died. So everyone throw your favorite leg. We'll get the community parlay up and we'll bounce. Let me get a sports book open so I can calculate the odds. Yankees money line, Cleveland money line. Giants first 5 money line. I like that one. I'm on the Giants. And the Rays money line. Wait a second. Oh no, I thought the Rays and Yankees played each other for a second. All right, let me calculate the odds on that. So we got Yankees money line. Rays money line. Wow, this is going to be a monster. Cleveland money line. Oh, man. This is not going to hit. Giants first 5. Where's the Giants game? Here we go. Giants first 5 money line. That's plus 2177. What do you guys think? Should we let it rock or should we take a leg out to make it a little more realistic? Because 2177 is just nuts. Let's rock. Let's let it rock. I would, if asking for my advice, if you're playing the community parlay, I would pick your least favorite. Oh, he was trolling with the Yankees. Chill, bro. I can't hear your voice on here. I can't tell if you're being sarcastic. All right, let's take the Yankees off. Plus 796 for these 3. That is more like it. I actually like this one a little better now. I mean, I personally don't like Cleveland. I like the White Sox. And it's tough fading Verlander. So I shouldn't have said I like it. I still don't like it, but I like it better without the Yankees in it. So it's community parlay, Cleveland money line, Giants first 5 money line, Rays money line plus 796. Thank you guys so much for watching as always. Tomorrow, 11 a.m. we'll be back. Wednesdays always has the day game, so we'll be on early, 11 a.m. Eastern time. Hopefully you're able to stop by. See you then. Let's